Get started, and I'll ask you guys to be gentle with me.
And one more thing, let's see, Ashley is Equalyze. You got the question, right? And everybody get out your spreadsheet and start taking notes so you know how you're going to score her. And Ashley, whenever you're ready, we are ready for you.
All right, perfect. All right. So you're walking down the street, you feel good, you're looking good, the sun is beaming down on you, and somebody bumps into you and they spill scalding hot coffee all over your brand new white jacket. Do you A, give them a strongly worded talking to? Do you B, punch them? Or do you C, acknowledge how you feel, take a deep breath, say, hey, things happen? So only one answer here reflects a high emotional intelligence. And if you chose either A or B, statistics tell us that you probably suffer from a mental, emotional, or behavioral disorder. You might be impulsive and you probably struggle to do well in school. You might have a hard time balancing work and pleasure. So even if it's not you, it's 1 out of 5 kids in the US. That's more than 20 million kids. But the beautiful thing is that emotional intelligence can be learned. It's just the ability to manage and identify emotions. And it's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So when I was a teacher, I had this student named T. Like 70% of students in America, she had bad anxiety. So she would either explode or be very quiet, depending on her mood. So it might sound specific to T, but her story is nationwide. So there was this article published in the APA that said that our kids today have more anxiety than child psychiatric patients in the 50s. Can you imagine? This has critical implications. Every year, our nation pumps billions into education, and yet science tells us the stressed adolescent brain, it isn't even learning. It can't even learn, right? So that's why I created Infinite Focus Schools to help T and kids like her all over the world. So our platform, it's a mindfulness and socio-emotional learning software. We meet young people like T where they're most interested, where they're most engaged, and we empower them with coping skills that they can carry around in their pockets. Right in the middle of her stress, of her fear, of anxiety, we give T coping skills that she can utilize. And we also offer tools like mindfulness to help her cultivate calm and encourage self-regulation. And we're collecting emotional intelligence data in real time so that her stakeholders are aware if and when she requires more help. So we teach kids how to choose option C. My name is Ashley Williams, and I mentioned that I was a teacher. And my life's mission is the exact same as the mission of Infinite Focus Schools, right? So we sell our product to parents, to schools, to teachers, to youth organizations, wherever children are. We offer a renewable user license to our customer segments. This is a $2.4 billion market, and we're starting with teachers. So we started our market test just a few weeks ago on December the 28th. We've already had a few dozen sales, and we're working on bulk sales with larger organizations. You just heard from Wendy that we're in the process of formalizing partnerships with the Baltimore Teachers Union. We're also in talks with the Maryland Public Charter School Alliance and Teach for America. So we want to equip their teachers with our product. And we also have the support of a lot of teacher influencers. So there was this study done at Columbia University. Wendy, I don't know if your finger means I'm done. I'm sorry.
1 more minute to go.
Okay, perfect. All right. So there was this study done at Columbia University that showed that for every $1 that's invested in social emotional learning, there's this $11 yield in long-term benefits that include improved mental health, reduced juvenile offenses, and higher lifetime earnings. So these are just numbers though. I'm talking about real people, flesh and blood children. They're talking about my student T. So I'm doing this because I want to empower children like T. And with the right allies, we're going to do it. It's going to happen. Thank you for your time.
Fantastic. And the one question.
Yeah, I would say, Ashley, first and foremost, our team admires you so much. You've been such a big help, not only, utilizing our service, but also just being a mentor. We look up to you immensely, just as, as we do with all the business owners in the cohort. But I think the one thing that nobody can question about you is that you are so driven, to move Infinite Focus Schools forward. And you're so sure of your mission. And you spoke a little bit about it, but could you talk a little bit more directly about your vision? So like, where do you see Infinite Focus Schools in 3 years? Or if we're, putting a time horizon on it, 3 years or 5 years, like what is the strategic kind of, plan, I guess, for lack of a better word, that you see for your venture?
I see Infinite Focus Schools wherever children are. It's a global experience. It's in Portuguese, it's in French, it's in Swahili. It's wherever children exist, and the model can adjust to meet the needs of the population that it's serving.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great answer. Thank you, Ashley. That was great. So Ashley, drop off as you need to.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Great to see you. Any questions about, does everybody have their Google Sheet open and their spreadsheet open so you can keep score? And you see how you're going to list your top 5? And by the way, you can list yourself if you want. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. All right. If no questions, we're going to keep it moving. So next we have in reverse order, Supir and AfterrHome is going to ask them the question.
Sorry, Wendy, I have one question. So
Yeah.
are we rating 1 through 5, like whether Ashley had best potential model social impact, or are we saying like Ekiben had the best this and then Infinite Schools has the best that? I'm confused on which way it goes.
You're saying the number 1 top person is Ekiben or AfterrHome or Equalyze, and the number 2, so based on everything.
In each category, or all categories together?
So the score sheet that has a lot of different criteria, that helps you decide who you think is the one that picks number 1.
Got it. Thank you.
So you might go in and you say 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. That person got 25. They're the top.
Got it.
And they're the number 1.
Perfect.
You might find that you put really high scores for everybody, right? In that case, you're going to say, here's the person I think that goes the furthest, or here's the person I think that's made the most progress or contributed most to this group, and I'm going to put that person number 1.
Okay. Thank you.
And your scorekeeping is private, but your top 5 ranking we all see and we all share. So if you go in there and change it and put yourself in there, everybody's going to know that you did that. Okay, that's how we keep it transparent. Okay, so Patrick, you ready?
Yep, I am ready to rock and roll. And do I have the capabilities to screen share?
I sure hope so. Tell me if it works for you.
Alrighty. Let's give it a shot. Okay, not yet. Nope, not yet.
Not yet, okay. I'm gonna make you co-host, and sorry, I made a lot of people co-host, but maybe too many, so here we go. Now we did it.
Nope. It still says I'm disabled.
All right, we have you in 2 times, so I may have given you the wrong one. Make co-host.
There we go.
Good.
All right, you guys see it? We're good to go? All right, you guys see my cool little dog? Is everybody looking at the cool little dog on the front?
We got it.
All right, cool, wonderful. Everybody can hear me loud and clear. Great. So, as a founder and business owner, sometimes don't you just wish that there was like a one-click solution to the majority of your problems? For example, I don't like pitching, and I wish there was just like one place I could go to and somebody could have written this and they could have came in front of this camera and they could have like done this for me. What if there was a place you could go where you could see people, you could see their previous work, all without having to commit to anything, without having to go through some email spammy kind of paywall? What if every industry had a pool of centralized talent where you could just go? No warm introductions, no leads. You can literally just go, search, filter, scan, and do whatever you need to do to get the exact individual you need to do what they need at a price that fits your budget. Truth bomb is the majority of this already exists within every industry except commercialized transportation. For some reason, we've been stuck in the Stone Ages. Small business owners have found themselves having to pay anywhere from $17 to $35 a day to post job listings on various sites, only to end up getting outspent by bigger transportation companies. We all know how the internet kind of works, right? You got to pay to play. Can you imagine looking for staff and having to go up against Amazon? I don't think any of us want that. So I asked myself, where does the small transportation entrepreneur go when they need help, when they need resources? They go to Supir. Supir provides a flexible logistics marketplace to help short-staffed transportation companies connect with safe, qualified drivers. And it's simple. Our goal wasn't to reinvent the wheel. It was to take a proven business model and make it work for us in our industry. And the great part about it is Supir doesn't charge a dime until a business and a driver do business together. And even when they do business, we only charge an industry low 15% commission whenever they connect. Now, as a small business owner, there are multiple options, right? However, we've learned that people want something new. They want something different. Everyone else has like a crazy cool app and a crazy cool one-word platform. Why not us? Why not us in the individual commercialized transportation industry? By nearly 2023, nearly 50% of the United States will in some way, shape, or form utilize the gig industry. And for drivers and small businesses that don't necessarily want to do Uber or Grubhub, for those of us who have commercial licenses, that's now a reality. To date, we've rolled our team to nearly 12, some of whom not pictured. We didn't have enough room and we knew we only had 4 minutes, but we have a team of about 12. And just in the last 4 months alone, we've raised nearly 50K in capital. We currently have an email list of nearly 7,000, and we have almost 200 drivers registered on our platform. That is close to my time, so I won't overtalk you guys anymore. Are there any questions? Cool.
So I was wondering, what are some strategic partnerships that you thought about having with this business?
Sure. So we wanted to have strategic partnerships with government transit industries. So, some know I used to drive the bus here for MDOT for about 10 years. That's where I met Sporty Dog at. I really need to go grab one of those. So as we grow, we definitely want to get into that world to be able to supply drivers to public transportation or government transportation industries, in addition to just normal everyday freight companies and things of that nature.
Thank you.
Fantastic, Patrick. Thank you. You could have fooled us in terms of saying somebody who doesn't like to pitch. Great job. All right, next up.
Did I make my time? Did I get time?
You were under time. Cool. Well done.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Very well done. Thank you. Next up is Sporty Dog, and I think it's Algen asking the question, right? Yep. Okay. Lashana, do you have?
AlgenAir.
Yep. Do you have? I'm gonna make you co-host. Okay. And Lashana, go ahead and unmute too.
Okay, let's see if I can share now.
I see it.
Okay, let me get to my screen. Let me get to my screen.
This is a good time to look at the criteria. Think about how you're going to rank the speakers we've seen so far. Make sure your pitch deck is live on your screen so you can select it when it's time to share. I see the template, Lashana. And you're muted, Lashana, so put your mic on so we can hear you.
I'm muted now. I thought I hit that.
Now we got you.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so this is about hot dogs, living the life in, hot dogs. And it's a passion between myself and my daughter for the love of food and sports. So Sporty Dog started back in 2017, and it was a very modest project. We started in farmers markets right here in Baltimore. And it was a way for us to engage with local farmers and kind of test out our market to see, if what we had could be successful. So we started in one market in 2017, making our hot dogs from scratch. And we started with a beef and a vegan dog. And then we grew into 5 markets in our second year. So we started with the mission of changing the eating culture in urban communities with healthier food options, right? Taking something like the hot dog, which most people love, but a lot of people don't eat because they don't know what's actually in them. So we created a way of making it more sociably fun and creative by taking that traditional hot dog and using a bar style concept while making our hot dogs from scratch. And down to the second slide. So after 3 years and producing hot dogs and growing our business, and during this COVID climate, we decided to change our model, right? Stifled by not being able to attend events, not having access to our customers. We wanted to start new lines of business in order to stimulate business growth. We just recently, as you guys heard earlier today, was able to negotiate opening a curbside window project with an outdoor patio to our current space to offer more accessibility for our consumers. This way, we have an access point where people can actually reach us while we're also increasing our production. Other lines of new business that we're looking to create is building collaborative projects in order to increase our menu offerings and also build business relationships. So we currently are in the works, super excited with Hiatus Cheesecake, where we're going to offer a promotion for a happy hot dog birthday, where we'll have little cheesecakes to kind of like offer with our hot dogs for people on their birthdays. That's another line of business. And then we're also negotiating a new lease with our property owners to have an indoor lunch counter. This indoor lunch counter will allow us to access the downtown business district that we're in, where we have direct access to 2 hospitals and other private businesses and public businesses downtown. Our long-term goals is to continue working in farmers markets because we love that personable touch, but to also add that indoor lunch counter and then possibly a mobile cart or truck to continue also vending as well. Accomplishments. So currently we've been able to revise our business model. We've been able to add a curbside window, negotiate new terms with our landlord, open our businesses for and operations for collaboration, and then finalize our operational agreement so we can open up for business and investment opportunities. Our future business, our storefront will allow us to increase our revenue by 30%. Adding that curbside window also helps to add integrity and safety for our consumers. And then our lease will allow us to create long-term stability in this downtown business district, again, close to 2 major hospitals with historic and social appeal. We also are looking to further expand our new business lines and extend our operational reach for new investments, helping us to build capacity, long-term business, and sustainability. Thank you.
Okay, great job, LaShawna. First of all, I want to start off just by saying that I'm glad we got this one because I really love hot dogs. So I'm guilty.
We've actually been trying to try one of your hot dogs, but you guys are closed on Wednesdays, so we haven't had a chance to yet, but it is on our plan
For sure.
to do. First of all, I'll say I really liked how you listed what you're currently working on and plans for the future. I think that's really great for a pitch to show like where you're heading. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about your competitive advantage compared to other either like hot dog companies in Baltimore or just other food vendors.
Yeah, great question. So right now we have maybe one other business downtown that offers hot dogs late night. They've been around for a long time, but for the most part, our model is super unique because we make our hot dogs from scratch and nobody else is doing that. So we actually have kind of a big advantage being able to provide that type of integrity in our product because it's coming from us directly.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, LaShawna. Great job. Next up, we have Silent Venus. Mace, I'm going to give you the power.
Okay, second. Share my screen.
And on questions is ATP. Joe, you ready for the question at the end?
Can you guys see my screen?
Got it.
All right, great. Well, so good evening, everybody. Have any of you guys ever thought about installing a bathroom in your home, maybe in the attic or maybe in a closet, and you just couldn't figure out how to do it? Well, we here at Silent Venus could solve that problem. We've been in business for about 4 years now, located in Baltimore, and our mission is to transform the bathroom experience for our customers through our innovative products and just making this experience more enjoyable. As you guys can see, our revenues have grown since 2018 to 2020, starting off with about 185,000 in 2018. 265 in 2019, and we're excited that we've grown a lot in 2020 to get to $613,000 of revenue for the year. We sell all types of different products. From our key products are macerating pumps and a macerating toilet, which is what allows us to build a bathroom anywhere in your home. We also have scaled and added some new products to our product line like bidets, toilet wipes, and toilet paper. The scalar cleaner, which helps with the longevity of our products, the toilet motion lights, so you don't have to turn on the light at nighttime. You could just walk into the bathroom and have that motion light on. Toilet benches and sinks as well. So now our value proposition, which kind of gives us our, I guess you could say, our unfair advantage, is the quality of our products. We've done a lot of research on our competitors to see what are the things that go wrong and how can we innovate and change that around. And we also believe in our products so much, we offer a lifetime warranty, which we're excited about. And it just kind of gives our customers a security when they're purchasing our products. And we also focus on, customer service. This is something that all of our reps focus on. So that's something that's really important for our company. The problem that we solve is just saving money for customers while they're installing the bathroom. What a lot of people don't know is in places like your attic or maybe your basement or that closet that's just junky and you want to use it for something, it might be a little difficult to install a bathroom because depending on where your sewage line in your home is, the water, or you can say the waste, can't actually reach there. So our product helps, I guess you could say, push the waste out of your home. So now, our sales and our goals these past couple of years have definitely increased, and we have some very big goals that we want to accomplish for 2021. But as you guys can see, in 2018, we sold about 988 products, which brought in a little over $10,000 in profit. In 2019, we sold over 1,500 products that brought in about $22,000 in profit. But in 2020, we made a big jump where we sold over 3,000 products and made about $180,000 in profit. And in 2021, we project to sell over 5,000 products, which would bring in over $250,000 in profit. And the key milestone that we're excited about, as of January 2021, we actually pretty much brought in about $83,000 in profit. So we're definitely getting close to that goal, which we're excited about. So another goal that we have is to, this year of 2021, is to have over 5,000 subscribers and build up our subscription model. Currently we at 250. The biggest excitement for us is the market currently. Our biggest competitor owns about 40% of the market, which is Saniflow. And we're currently at about 10% of the market. So we have a lot of opportunities for growth, which we're excited about. So
Yes,
now,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to jump in and cut you off. Nice job. I know you got a lot to say, and next time just practice on seeing how you can cut it down. Joe, what quick question do you have for Emmaus?
Did you say Joe?
Yeah, Joe, you're assigned for the question for Silent Venus. Can you ask a question he can answer in 1 minute?
Yes, it's perfect. I've met with a group that is doing eco villages in different parts of the country. In fact, they're going to do something in Baltimore. And I mentioned what you do. Would you be interested in having a dialogue about how your, as I mentioned with you before, how your toilets might be good for the environment and help to combat whether it's climate change or other environmental bad things?
yeah, of course. If you can, can you send me your email on the chat so I can just send you an email and we can start communicating about that?
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, though, if you have them.
Yeah, so basically in regards to the environment, the key thing I think for our product, which I'll have to do a little bit more research to give you, the best answer, is just in regards to the sewage line and sewage, I guess you could say waste. I would think with the normal toilet, going to like, I guess the factories where they kind of like break down the waste. I'm not exactly sure what they do at the factory, but what our product, what it does, it turns it into a liquid. Not to get too graphic, but there's like a grinder in there that actually grinds the waste. So I'm not sure if that would actually help with the environment, but I would have to look into it a little bit more because that's not something that we were looking into for our product. But I would love to have that conversation with you and look into it a little bit more and maybe get some people on my team to do some more research.
Awesome, thanks for that openness to partnership, Emmaus. Next up, we have Tyrell with Project Own. And the question here is going to go from Blue Bone, from Maria at the end.
Okay. Is someone else sharing their screen? Okay, here we go. Okay, can everyone see that?
Got it.
Cool. All right, my name is Tyrell Dixon. I'm co-founder and CEO of Project Own. So we're a nonprofit organization whose mission is to equalize access to homeownership for Black Americans. And so my co-founder, AJ, couldn't be here tonight, but we've known each other for over 10 years. His background is more in the nonprofit operations space, and I bring the housing and community development expertise. And the challenge that we identified throughout our work is really just the Black-white homeownership gap, which is really the foundation for wealth inequality, racial wealth inequality in America. And the gap is actually larger now than it's ever been since they've started tracking in 1968. And so for context, until 1968, housing discrimination was legal, right? So that just shows you how much progress we have to make in this area. And the opportunity we identified is to really sort of reimagine and reinvent this homeownership counseling space. So You might think that homeownership counseling is about taking people who are not ready to take out a mortgage and helping them become mortgage ready, because that would make sense. In reality, the industry, due to some misaligned incentives, is really about taking people who are mortgage ready and just showing them how to buy a home. But by taking that approach, it really reinforces all of the racial bias that is really deeply embedded into that term, mortgage readiness. And so our approach is a technology-based solution. So on the consumer side, we have the Project Own app. Has a bunch of features there, but really it just helps you track your savings, track your credit, and learn more about the homeownership process and create a really accessible digital access point. And what we think can make it a really powerful intervention is that all of that information, the savings, credit, can be tracked in real time by a homeownership counselor. And so it allows this industry that is sort of inundated with paperwork and bureaucracy to operate really efficiently and scalably. The digital access point is much more accessible for a digitally native generation to attract more young homeowners. And lastly, it provides the opportunity to assess impact using data. So historically, really the only metric that has been tracked within the system is just the number of homeowners created. With our system, we have the ability to get to really granular level of, where are people dropping out on the process and how can we refine it to make sure that it's serving all people fairly and equitably. Our traction so far, so we're partnering with NHS Baltimore, the city's largest counseling organization, to do our pilot. We're getting about 100 people per month signing up, most of whom are Black. And we charge them a monthly service fee of $800 a month to sort of use our tools and products. And then lastly, since we are a nonprofit organization, just acknowledging the partners and funders who have helped us get to this point so far. Any questions?
Yeah, I really liked what you said about how it's data driven and everything you do with the app. I think that's really cool and advanced and timely for this day and age. And my question was, compared to other companies that are doing the same with dealing with these ownership problems, what's one thing that your company offers that others don't?
Yeah, so I think we are the only sort of mobile-based platform that is working through like the HUD certified homeownership counseling space, right? So I mean, you do have like digital mortgage brokers who are sort of direct to consumer, right? But we've really identified this system of the HUD certified homeownership counselors because the reality is, I think for a lot of Black families, particularly low and moderate income families, they're going to need access to homeownership incentives, and those all require that you go through the HUD certified process, right? So within our particular market segment, which isn't actually, it's not as small as you think, about 1 million people per year use the service in some capacity. We're the only ones who have a mobile solution.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Great job, Tyrell. Next up, we have Mayo, and Ekiben is asking the question.
All right.
Okay, we got your screen, Mayo.
All right, good. I'm going to go in presentation mode. All right, so hey everyone. Again, Alfonso Mayo, founder and servant leader of an organization called Mentoring Mentors. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of mentoring before because it's not a common theme, but we have a spin on this theme. And so first and foremost, I wanted to introduce you to a student by the name of Brendan. Here's a screenshot of Brendan when we first met him. If you take a look to the far right corner, you'll see an overall cumulative GPA of a 0.92. And usually what happens when you see this standard, you instantly think that this student is in trouble, and by all means, you would be completely right. One of the problems that we're seeing in Baltimore, in cities like Baltimore, are the racial inequities as shared by Tyrell, just only on home ownership. But this happens in the education space all the time. Many of our students, they go to something they consider a Title I school, which means that most of them live below the poverty line. But that's not the only issue that we've seen throughout our tenure. Many of our students have increased instance in adverse childhood experience, whether indirectly or directly. Many of them lack access to high quality education. Many of them are going to failing schools. And then an increased instance of racial bias. Literally what we see in youth development today is a system operated especially for Black and brown youth to fail. And so here's our mission. We cultivate the next generation of Black community leaders by facilitating a near-to-peer intergenerational model. You guys probably never heard of intergenerational near-to-peer model because we are the creators of that. Essentially what I'm telling you is we utilize the space of social emotional intelligence, empathy skill building, and team building, and we teach kids how to work collectively together, and then we pair them with the next generation of students that's right behind them. When we think about the mentor space, it's usually an adult overseeing a youth, usually a youth that they view as at risk or underserved or undervalued, and they try their best to offer as many services they possibly can. But we see some of our colleagues like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or the Y Central Maryland, who continuously fail when trying to duplicate that one-to-one model. And so what we decided to do is take a team approach. There is no one person above the team. And so we use a collective of mentorship opportunities or mentors in the space that's just 4 to 3 years older than the students that they're currently serving. And so currently our model structure is middle school to high school to college, and young working adults. And so here's our areas of focus. So one of the things that we see to combat some of those problems that we see in the sector is mentorship, of course, social emotional development, which simply just means how are our students showing up in certain spaces, whether it's at school, whether it's at home, whether it's in a community, what emotions are they taking? Academic advancement and skill building. We know that many students in Baltimore, they have big dreams, but if they're not advancing through academic positively, that pipeline will be a pipeline to prison instead of pipeline to college or career, okay? And so here's Brendan. Again, you've seen his challenges before. The reason that our model is a little bit different is because, again, we give our students an opportunity not only to learn their leadership skills and qualities, but to grow in their leadership skills and qualities. And here are some results from 2019 and 2020. Every year, we've seen a huge impact in GPA for our students. And I'll kind of skip through just to show you our high school graduation rate, which sits at 100%, a college retention rate, which sits at 80%, and we have no students that are incarcerated. The last slide I'll show you is Brendan. And if you can,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off here. You
Got
almost
you.
got there, okay, you're close. So that now you know how many seconds you have to shave. And the question is for Ekiben.
That was 5 minutes. I started late.
Yeah, that's an awesome presentation. My question is, like the work you guys are doing is like phenomenal. How do you plan on like expanding, outside of the Baltimore community?
Man, so honestly, that's a great question. So this work is not, the intergenerational model is not tied to Baltimore. Let's be clear, there's students all across this country like a Brendan. The one thing I wanted to share, I was hoping that you guys could just take a look at Brendan's journey to see where he started, to see where he is now. Today, Brendan is a 79.6 GPA student with a goal of being a 4.0 student. This work can be in Los Angeles. All of those cities that have the same makeup and dynamics, especially around African-American youth with failing school systems for obvious structural reasons, could utilize this platform. And my goal is to, make sure that it's home rooted here in Baltimore, but be able to expand out to Baltimore County and the counties beyond and then outside of Maryland.
Mayo, thank you. Everybody, amazing example of using the question to talk about what he wanted to talk about, okay? Great example there. He ran out of time, but he used the question to get his whole thing in, right? Take note, all right? Very well done. One more to go, and then we get a break. I've never given you a break before, have I? It's time, okay. So we're gonna do one more. We got hiatus. Josh is asking the question. Get ready, Matthew, okay? And then we'll have a break. So let's make sure you have co-host. All right, we're ready for you. And you're still muted, Matthew, so.
Hello?
We hear you. I can tell Matthew's been doing his homework. All right, we see your presentation. Thank you. We see your screen, Matthew. Do you want to just work from this view? Let us know what you're thinking here.
Wendy, I think he needs to join audio. On the bar at the top, he's not joined to the audio. So he might be speaking, but we can't hear him.
Oh, really?
Or that black bar at the top where it's his control.
That's right.
Gotta press join audio.
Yep.
Okay, Matthew, can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. There we go. I see that happening on your screen. You know what I think we'll do, folks, is we will take our break now. And Matthew, why don't you stay on, stop sharing, and we'll work on getting you good to go. And we'll have you present after the break. So we are running a little bit behind the schedule we created, but not too bad. Okay, so we said break from 7:20 to 7:35. It's 7:35. So instead of 15 minutes, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So I need everybody back 10 minutes from now, and that's 7:45. Okay, so you can drop off.
Everyone. Okay, let me get set. When you hear the word dessert, I'm sure you attach it with the first time you bit into your favorite cookie, pie, cake, or ice cream. Whatever it was, it's a nostalgic feeling. It gives you a sense of home. For me, that is cheesecake. I started baking at a young age, helping my mom bake bread, which she baked daily at the time. One day, my cousin came over and began to tell me about a cheesecake that he had at Cheesecake Factory. When I finally was able to try it, I fell in love. Went home, found it in my mom's cookbook. My mom later took me to the grocery store to purchase the ingredients, and I made my first cheesecake. It was an espresso cheesecake. As an adult, I have worked in the restaurant industry over 15 years. I've worked back of the house, front of the house, and management, and I've worked in casual dining, fine dining, and catering. which brings us to the problem. One thing that I've noticed in most restaurants, they have to outsource their desserts instead of hiring a pastry chef to make fresh, natural desserts. Most restaurants end up purchasing from large distributors that order from large bakeries or dessert companies, and as a result, lose a little of that fresh, local kitchen-to-table experience. So, a little over 4 years ago, I figured I'd help them out with that problem and start with my favorite dessert, cheesecake. We provide high-quality desserts with natural ingredients to restaurants, schools, and grocery stores. Skip one. When I started back in 2016, my first client was a semi-fine dining restaurant called Grace's Mandarin in National Harbor. I was a bartender there. It seats roughly 500 people, so this was a major client for me and still is to this day. We sold approximately 20,000 cheesecakes with them over the years, but what makes this particular client special is that I've been also working there for the past 4 years. I actually just retired last year. I sold a lot of those cakes myself. Not to mention, they allowed me to have my own cheesecake menu as a part of their dessert menu and market my brand to their customers. I was able to get feedback from the customers and really develop my product and brand. We are a family-owned business. Growing up, my parents had their own nonprofit music school that they ran out of the house. As a result, my brothers and I have had some major success in the music industry. And when I first started Hiatus, they were the first ones that I went to for investment. Our parents really installed in us that there's far greater importance in learning than teaching. As Hiatus, we strive to exercise humility, being students first before leaders. No doubt, COVID has affected the restaurant industry immensely, but it will bounce back because, put simply, people have to eat. We have recently become vendors of Whole Foods. Whole Foods was a perfect fit for us because they followed our same core values of providing quality, natural products. We signed on to the Mid-Atlantic region, so potentially we could be in every Whole Foods in the region, but we have to build the demand for our product around the region. So we have introduced fundraising. We're using fundraising, Do you remember those fundraisers that you used to do in elementary and middle school where you had to sell chocolate bars for $1? We are trading in the chocolate bars for Hiatus Cheesecake.
Matthew, we just lost your audio.
Schools can earn up to 35% back on orders sold during the fundraiser, which is 10% higher than most of the fundraising platforms. Our profit margin remains the same as it is with Whole Foods. So basically, the school gets what Whole Foods would profit.
Matthew, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off now.
All right.
Okay, we have a question from Josh.
Thanks, Matthew. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear that pitch one more time. A little bit shorter and focused, really on what you started with, which was your story and your problem. And then more about how you want to go to scale. So I'm going to give you a little chance to talk about that fundraising piece, but let me know if that fundraising piece is integral to going to scale or is both a benefit to the community and a go to scale strategy.
It's both integral for both the community and to go to scale. So the plan is to strategically pick schools that are around Whole Foods markets, and we build the demand for the cheesecakes in those schools, and it's been building a customer base for that's going to go purchase the cheesecakes from Whole Foods. So if we do that around different Whole Foods all around the state, then we should get all of them eventually.
Fantastic. Thank you, Matthew. It's great to hear from you. We have Equalyze up next, and Hiatus. Matthew, you're back with the question when they're done in 4 minutes, okay?
Dear Mauricio, could you actually make me the co-host? I'm sharing the deck. I think you guys made Catherine the co-host.
Yeah, Catherine always speaks for you guys. Brendan, it's going to be you today?
Yeah,
Can't wait to hear. Can't wait to hear. You should be good.
Hopefully. everyone. One of my co-founders, Brendan O'Connell, and I are going to tell you about our venture Equalyze, which is revolutionizing the type of support available to local small businesses. So next slide. So the problem, which is not new, is that small businesses are underfunded, under-resourced, and under-supported. We're seeing this especially during times of COVID-19. And I've seen this in my personal life because my dad happens to be the owner of a small family-owned printing company, so I've witnessed his struggles firsthand. And then also, students, particularly undergraduate students, need relevant experience in a more competitive job market than ever before. And our team is made up of 4 Loyola students, so we know this better than anybody, and we understand that with increasing competition, there's a need to tell a unique story on your resume. So next slide. So these two communities have legitimate problems that they can help each other solve, yet they don't often collaborate. And that's where we come in. Equalyze is an online platform that connects Baltimore small business owners with driven undergraduate students who can complete short-term projects for them at an affordable rate. And in reality, small business owners often just don't have time to tackle projects that can truly help grow their business. And so they don't really need an expensive professional consultant. They just need a capable extra set of hands. So there's a perfect synergy between these two communities because small businesses are struggling with the transition to e-commerce, and in general, undergraduate students are incredibly tech savvy and are driven to serve their local communities. So next slide. And our process is pretty simple. So first, students tell us what skills they have and what they're passionate about, and then small businesses describe their needs. And then after that, we match the student with a local small businesses project based on their listed skill set, and that's through our concierge MVP. And to note, at scale, we envision this platform being a double-sided marketplace in which business owners and students can match with one another, on their own, for their own choosing. But we currently do the matching because, like I said, we're operating our concierge MVP. And then lastly, when these relationships are formed, businesses and students connect via Zoom or video chat technology for projects that span from around a few weeks to about 3 months. And during these projects, students gain relevant experience and gain monetary compensation while supporting our city's small businesses.
Great, thanks, Spence. So just to provide a high-level overview of some of the key, points in our business model. So we have some key partners that have been really pivotal in allowing us to expand our network and do our best to connect as many businesses and students as possible. So on the business side, talking about the local nonprofits and small business networks. And on the other hand, on the student side, local university and colleges like Loyola University, Maryland. These two groups have been extremely pivotal in allowing us to expand our network of small businesses and students as we try to expand the business. I'm looking over towards the value propositions. On the business side, we really try to make this experience cost effective. And we want it to feel comfortable for the business. So we ultimately allow small businesses to price projects according to their preferences. And we ultimately try to give small businesses access to talent that would often look at larger firms for work experience. On the student side, we aim to personalize the experience by allowing students to work on projects and work with small businesses that are to their interest. On the revenue side, we partnered with Emergence Baltimore for a holiday initiative, which was a nonprofit. So a lot of all the work that was being done was pro bono. So now we're looking to transition our service to involving compensation in which the students are compensated for their work at a price that's comfortable for the business. There we go. So looking to next steps for Equalyze, the main goal, and it has and always will be, is to support the small business community in Baltimore. In order to do that, we're hoping to automate our concierge MVP by transitioning some of the manual day-to-day tasks that we currently operate to automating them and implementing our newly refined model in which students are compensated for their work. We're extremely grateful to the Baltipreneurs program because we've been able to see some really increased growth in terms of the businesses that we've matched, getting about 50 matches so far, registering as an LLC, as well as expanding our network of students to just over 85. So we're super excited to continue working on this, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Matthew, what do you got for them?
I was just wondering, so it's Baltimore-based business. Is it plans to take it outside of Baltimore, outside of Maryland, to other universities?
Yeah, so I'll start off, and then if any of my co-founders want to chime in and add anything. But yes, absolutely. We really believe in this model because we use video chat technology. We believe it's very scalable, and there's a lot of cities. 2 of our co-founders, Catherine and Brendan, are from Boston, which is a city that has a lot of universities and a lot is built off of small business, similar to Baltimore. So that would be a reasonable or kind of like a reasonable place to expand next. But we definitely believe this model is very scalable and can kind of, the main thing is to try to take away the geographic, boundaries or limits that small businesses have when accessing affordable talent or affordable, help. So that's where we think our model is really valuable, and that's where we think it's capable for growth. So Brendan, Catherine, Franklin, if you have anything, feel free to add on. Thanks for your question, Matthew.
All right, wonderful. Thanks, team. We have Ekiben up next, and Mayo, you're the questioner. Steve, you ready?
Yep.
Steve, while you're doing that, our whole team got Ekiben the other night, like last Wednesday, and it was delicious. It was very.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ew.
I did. All right. I'm sorry. I'm a boomer. Okay. View. Oh shit! Is this?
If we can have food on demo day, my friends, if we can get permission on that, there will be hot dogs and there will be chicken sandwiches or whatever Ekiben is working on, and there will be cheesecake for dessert, okay? So I'm working on that.
Can we go? Are we ready?
We're ready for you.
All right.
Awesome. My name is Ephraim, and this is Steve, and we are co-founders of Ekiben, and we're here to change the way people enjoy food.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you. Do you have a deck to share?
Yeah. Wait. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not screen shared. I'm sorry.
Not yet.
We sold sandwiches. My picture's all right. But yeah. Sorry.
You're almost there.
Oh my goodness. I got this new MacBook. I don't know how to use it. It's pretty cool though. It's got like the M1 chip. Okay. All right. Share screen.
I think you need to go back to dishwashers, don't you guys? Dishwashing.
Yeah, I think so too. I need to go back to elementary school.
I'm just kidding. We got time for you. Just figure it out.
Camera, zoom. Really?
So you have this share screen button on the bottom?
Yeah, it just asked me like put in a whole bunch of passwords.
So
I gotcha. All right. I gotta. No, later.
Lenora, tech support Lenora is suggesting F3.
It helps you to toggle out everything to you.
No, I see your screen.
Right there?
Yep.
Okay, I can start asking you guys for money now, right? That's what this is.
We're all just trying to get there.
Just do it. No, man, you gotta do it right, dude. Slideshow. All right, does that look okay?
Perfect. You got 4 minutes.
Awesome. Hi, my name is Ephraim, and this is Steve, and we're co-owners of Ekiben, and we're here to change the way people enjoy food.
You recognize this? Yeah, it looks like shit. But this will be eaten for 20 years. Hasn't changed. Go to the food court. There's a lady, give me a sample, saying, you want some chicken? We could do better. Nothing's changed. It's like the food's really stagnated in America. And yeah, we can do better. We have to do better. So we're doing better. So our food looks like this. And that. And that. And we serve a clientele that looks like this. Served by people that look like that. For a generation that looks like this. And that.
All right. We've also won a few awards. We've been nominated for Eater Young Guns Awards, which highlights the top restaurateurs under the age of 30. Yeah, we've also been Yelp's top 100 places to eat in the US for 2019. We're also winners of the Star Chef's Rising Star Awards, which highlights the best talent in the region, nominated by our peers and experts in the industry. And then this past year, we were also the #2 fastest growing inner city company, as voted by Fortune magazine.
We got beat by an underwear company, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. We're a sandwich company. It's cool. So we got expansion plans. So then like next 5 years or so, we'd like 5 to 10 stores within the Baltimore, Washington metropolitan area. Our square footage is like 1,200 to 2,200 square feet. That's our sweet spot. And our financials, so this goes back to 2017. We actually started off in 2014. As you can see, year over year, we're growing like anywhere between 40 to 60%. Our profit this year, our gross profit is over $1 million. And next year, our projected gross profit is $2 million. And we expect these numbers to grow exponentially because money snowballs. And once we have like a third, fourth, fifth store, it's gonna get bigger and bigger. We have a lot of experience in this industry and our economics are very sound. So I'm gonna ask you guys for money. Business structure, break-even point, you get it by year 2. Industry average is 5 years. Break-even point means how long it's gonna take for you to get your money back. Cost per share is $20,000. So for every $20,000 you put in, you get 1%. And our job is to make sure you get your money back ASAP. So you get 60% of all the profits until you hit break-even point. And then after that, we distribute 40% of the profits and divvy that up as profits for all of the investors. And if you guys are interested, shoot us an email. There's an email. I'm Steve at AfterrHome. Do you have any questions?
All right. Well, that was entertaining, to say the least. And thank both of you guys for bringing that to us and making tonight lively. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm quite impressed with what you guys are doing. Congratulations on all the awards. Have you guys ever thought about being on Shark Tank?
Nah, man. Like that's some like indentured servitude stuff. Like we won't play with that. We'll own 40% of your company and it's debt? No way. No, we're good. No, it's not.
Fair enough. Well, okay, another question. Can we get some gift cards or something?
Yo, I got you.
You got you, man.
I just looked out for the entire group.
All right, excellent. Great presentation. Thanks, you guys. You got it together. We're going to go next to Blue Bone. Maria's up next, and Project Own, you are the question.
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow. I'm not as funny as Steve, but that's okay. Can everyone see my screen?
We got it, Maria.
Good to go? Okay. Again, hi everyone. My name is Maria Jekyll. I'm the founder and designer of Blue Bone Jewelry. Blue Bone is a small business I created when I was 16 years old that sells handmade jewelry nationally online, wholesale to boutiques, and also in pop-up shops. Again, I was 16 years old when I first created Blue Bone. I wrote a 2-page business proposal for my parents, and I asked them for $200 to get myself started. I'm currently 21 years old now, and this June will be 5 years since I first began. I grew up wearing a school uniform from ages 4 through 18, and jewelry was always the one thing that I could add on to my uniform that allowed for me to express myself. And I'd always been interested in fashion, so the idea of creating jewelry seemed like a fantasy to me. And I decided to turn that fantasy into reality when I saw an opportunity, and I ran with it. Here we can see my statistics on the left, pre-Baltipreneurs, and my current statistics. My monthly sales revenue has increased by $400. I'm now partnered and holding contracts with 3 boutiques. My engagement rate has increased by nearly 2%, my margins by 8%, and my daily site traffic by 120%. I've also been able to expand my outreach through partnerships with influencers, both with a social media following over 50,000. With the development over my website over the past year, I've been able to increase my sales by 60%, generating nearly $30,000 with margins around 83%. I've launched over 500 designs and sold nearly 10,000 pieces, and we're only just getting started. For my social impact, when I first started, I kind of was curious as to why most jewelry companies and fashion designer brands are always led by males. Both of Tiffany's 2 main designers are men. On Louis Vuitton's executive team of 12 people, only 2 of them are women. Same for a lot of other big designers, Gucci, Prada, Hermes. All their executive teams and head designers are men. And my kind of approach was, who would know better about what women want to wear than other women? So being a young female entrepreneur, One of Bluebone's goals is to promote and inspire confidence in other young women. I want to lead from the front and inspire other people like me that they have the power to advance their careers. Anyone with a vision can create anything that they want to. And when you wear Bluebone, you're part of a community. You're wearing something by women for women, and that creates a cycle of empowerment. And it's just an uplifting community that supports a greater goal of female presence in the workforce. What does the future hold for Bluebone? Thailand is where the world's best goldsmiths are, and I've been able to foster relationships with manufacturers that are eager to work with Bluebone. I hope to begin sourcing my materials ethically from Thailand and also begin increasing my core production by hiring craftsmen to work alongside me. I want to increase my wholesale orders by expanding into new boutiques and further my outreach through channels such as influencer marketing and digital campaigns. Over the past 3 months, I've also been able to secure my LLC and trademark, making these partnerships with Thailand and to increase core production, making all of that possible. And I've also been able to increase my core production 5 times the amount of previous, which also increases the opportunity for wholesale. Bluebone is a company formed on the ideals of creativity and determination. It's given me the opportunity to continuously illustrate my ambitions. The passion I have for jewelry design is unmatched in anything else that I do. And thank you for this opportunity.
That was great. I think you kind of answered the question on the last slide, but I'm going to ask it anyways because it's the only one I thought of. Is your main distribution channel, or are you thinking like traditional brick and mortar, like K Jewelers, or are you trying to be more of like a digitally native sort of Instagram influencer type company?
Well, definitely in the future. I mean, I'm a junior right now in college, so I have a ways to go. But let's say in like 10 years, if I could have my own storefront in like New York City and then eventually have other storefronts across America, I would absolutely love that. That would be my ultimate goal. But definitely until then, I'm trying to get more online sales because all I really have right now, my main source is through my website. And then I have pop-up shops every weekend of the summer. So right now, probably online and is my main thing, but eventually in the future, I would love to be in stores and have my own stores and be a designer like that.
Fantastic, Maria. Thank you so much. We have Joe up next, ATP. Let's hear it. And Silent Venus is on for questions. Okay, we got your screen. Joe, you are on mute though, so be sure to unmute.
Okay, ready to go. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe James. I'm going to talk to you about a process that ATP-MD is involved in that can be very beneficial to not only Baltimore, but to the country and to the world as we fight climate change and other issues related to the environment. The challenges that we're facing is that we need to have technologies that can remove large amounts of CO2 from the atmosphere and then take the carbon that's captured and sequester that, in our case, in products. Also, there's large emitters like power plants that have a special need to try to capture their CO2 before it hits the atmosphere and spreads out. And then lastly, especially in a city like Baltimore, there are environment-related health preconditions that are caused which make COVID more deadly. So our solution is to plant and multitask special biocrops and their resulting biomass, once we harvest them, to do good things for people and the planet less expensively because of the multitasking, like capturing CO2, reducing air pollution, cleaning up contaminated brownfield sites, and very importantly, creating new jobs, making circular economy bioproducts, which never end up as waste. We use 2 biological processes: photosynthesis, basically the way that plants and trees capture CO2 from the atmosphere, and then phytoremediation, the way that they absorb problematic substances from air, soil, and water. On the left is a field of standard sorghum, which is a crop. It's at 6-month maturity. And on the right is a field of biomass sorghum, which is the crop that we use. You can see the difference between the two. And in fact, biomass sorghum absorbs 14 tons of CO2 per acre per year. And in fact, the University of California at Berkeley did an analysis for us and showed that biomass sorghum will absorb nearly 4 times as much as an equal acreage of trees. So when we put it to work, we wanted to capture CO2 from large emitters like power plants. We actually think that since the Harbor Tunnel is collecting exhaust fumes, we might be able to take the CO2 out of those fumes. And we would use something called vertical biocrop farms to allow us to capture that CO2. By the way, PM 2.5 air pollution, which is very fine particles, shortens lifespan by 2 years across the world. We can plant our crops in neighborhoods like this one and use their size and leafy structure to strain out that type of air pollution. And also in urban communities like Baltimore, heat stress, given climate change, is becoming a bigger problem. We can create cool zones by planting our crops strategically in various community locations. Lastly, we can also remediate old industrial polluted brownfields, which are a health hazard all across Baltimore. When we harvest our crops, we create circular economy bioproducts. That means products that never have to end up in waste. And the products that we're concentrated on are filler powders, which allow us to make plastics and composites. We've already demonstrated our poultry bedding is superior, and then we can harvest the litter and turn it into a nutrient-rich biochar soil amendment. We've accomplished several keystones, the most important of which occurred in July when the Exelon Foundation Climate Change Investment Initiative selected our company out of 10 from across the country to do a project in Baltimore. We've got some outstanding R&D partners and collaborators, both in the private sector. We've gotten government partnerships and university research partnerships. We're very appreciative of our relationship with Loyola. I'm a former 33-year economic development professional.
I'm going to have to cut you off here. We're at 4 minutes.
I'm done.
And okay, great. And Emmaus, what's your question?
I wanted to ask you, I guess, how did you go about like developing like the product itself and actually, I guess, creating this company? Was it just solely you with the research, or how did that all come together?
Well, like I said in the slide, I'm a former economic development professional, and I'd worked mostly for cities or urban areas, including Prince George's County, where I served for 6 years as the EDC director. I was recruited to South Carolina to take my first statewide position, and my heart was broken when I went into rural communities and saw the poverty, particularly in the Black community. My training had taught me that if you could add value to whatever it is a community has, that's one way to create jobs. And rural communities have farmland and forest land. So I got focused on what value could we add to trees and plants and or their resulting material called biomass. That led me to the road that I'm on today. And then the need to make bio-based products less expensive caused me to create the CRBBP process, by which we are multitasking both the crops that we plant.
I'm sorry, Joe, I got to cut it here because we're over a minute on the question too. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Loved your slides. Great job. We have 2 more folks. We're almost there. We may run a little bit over in terms of time to chat, but we're close. All right. So let's have AlgenAir up next, and Sporty Dog, you got the questions on this. Okay, I see your slides.
Okay, can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? We're all good? All right, very cool. Is that functional? Cool. All right, hey guys, I'm Dan.
And I'm Kelsey.
And we are the co-founders of AlgenAir, and we help people grow algae so that they can live better. And I first want to start out by having everybody just take a deep breath together. Now, the carbon dioxide that you just put into your body is 2 to 3 times higher than what's naturally occurring outside, and that is detrimental to your health. It destroys your mental clarity, it causes headaches, and it causes respiratory problems at a time when respiratory health has never been more important. And modern building ventilation for energy efficient buildings does just barely enough to prevent you from getting sick. And at AlgenAir, we think there's a better way. And that's why we made the Arium. And it's the world's first natural air purifier that uses algae to clean the air we breathe. And it works with elegant simplicity. We take carbon dioxide rich air from inside of this room, we pump it directly into the Arium, and once inside it meets millions and millions of algae cells. And those algae cells only have 2 jobs. They suck up carbon dioxide and they release oxygen. And they do that as effectively as 25 houseplants. So we can ship an Arium directly to your doorstep for $175, or you can go out into the big scary world, spend upwards of $250 on plants, and congratulations, you just bought a job. You have to water those plants, you have to take care of those plants. Half of them are just gonna die for like no reason, right? And that's part of the magic that makes the Arium what it is. Number one, it's the biology of the algae we grow, the patent pending technology that we've built around that biology, and our proprietary media formulation to maximize carbon dioxide sequestration. And that's the magic of the Arium, but it all comes together for a premium user experience that is the Arium. And direct sales is the first column that supports our business model. To make sure that our customers are growing algae as efficiently as possible, we do offer a subscription service, and we give you fresh algae, food for that algae, and replacement filters. And people are doing this all across the country. We've sent Ariums quite literally from coast to coast, and they're making a difference in people's lives as we speak, which is something we're extremely excited about, but it's just the beginning. The Arium is a one-room solution for a multi-room problem. And we can scale up our technology, patented technology, to clean entire floors, and we can work with architects to make living, breathing buildings.
The Arium is part of the $9.5 billion global air purifier market. An emerging segment of this market space is natural air purifiers that sits at the intersection of HEPA filters and indoor gardening. This is a relatively new market space, so there's limited data available, but we believe with the Arium, as well as our scale technology for multi-room and entire building solutions, we can capture over $100 million in this space. Now, our current customers are millennials who are purchasing plants to improve their indoor air quality, with over 5 million new millennial indoor gardeners every year. And the second is mothers, aged 35 to 45, who consider indoor air quality a top safety concern. There's 21 million mothers who fall into this age bracket in the US alone, and these models are supported by our customers across the country. We're attracted to our customers because of our competitive advantages. Traditional air filters can remove particulate matter. This means dust, mold, and bacteria, but they cannot remove carbon dioxide. Meanwhile, other natural air purifiers can remove CO2, but not particulate matter. The Arium does both. It has an inline filter that is 0.22 microns, which exceeds HEPA standards, and it can reduce CO2 and increase oxygen as effectively as 25 planes. The team that brought this product to market is Dan and myself. We're both PhDs who have background in algae, and we've built this company completely from scratch, doing all of the design and prototyping in-house and raising over $120,000 in non-equity, non-dilutive funding. But we know we have weaknesses. So we've worked with a team of advisors and mentors who have guided us every step of the way, and we've partnered with 3 great American companies to manufacture, assemble, package, and ship our product. This is just the beginning. Algae will change the future, and with your help, we can continue to help people grow algae so they live better. Thank you.
Just in time. Thank you. Lashana.
Man, that was great. You guys kind of like hit everything. I don't even know what to ask. I wanted to kind of, I guess, maybe hone in on how you envision, you know, your product in the next 5 years. You know, do you see any other process, maybe, you know, being competitive with what you're doing right now?
That's a great question. We're always looking to the future. Obviously, scaling up the technology into number one, flat panel bioreactors for a multi-room, still domestic solution, as well as integrating into architecture is absolutely what I want to be working on, and what we've got in our back pocket here. And that also has to do with you know, scaling up from, you know, our unit here is right here is 2 liters, whereas we're going to be doing 200 liters in a flat panel bioreactor system, as well as fundamentally changing the biology of our culture. So going from a batch to a chemostat, which makes sure the algae is in its maximum efficiency at all times. And once we scale up, we can just unleash that extra power of algae. So we're obviously extremely excited about it.
Yeah, real quick, because I'm looking at this last picture on your slide. Is that what you're thinking of, building the algae into structures?
Yes, so that's ultimately where we see this going.
You guys, we're at time. Thank you for the follow-up question, Lashana. We just don't have time for too much follow-up, but I love the algae building. So cool.
Thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, so last, but certainly not least, first alphabetically, let's have AfterrHome. Bring it home for us. And Supir, you are up on the questions. Lenore, are you ready? All right, she's screen sharing. Great. I see it, and you are still muted, Lenora.
All right, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
All right. I'm Lenora Felder. I'm the co-founder and CEO of AfterrHome, where we're pioneering the future of home inspections. So quick question. Thumbs up if you know how to find a quality home inspection. Thumbs up if you think home inspections include environmental inspections like lead and radon. Well, that's the problem. I don't see many thumbs, but most people don't know anything about home inspections. But the great thing about that is that you're gonna learn today. So the current home inspection process looks like this. Home buyers only have one option for the home inspection services. So they have to be in person. The home inspection report takes about 1 to 7 days, and it's 100% out of the pocket expense at the home inspection. So most people don't know how to find reputable home inspectors. Everyone's schedule, meaning the realtor, home inspector, and the home buyer, has to align to be in person. And then the prolonged closing time happens when the inspection report has a long turnaround and all the upfront costs negatively affects the repair budget. So imagine if you could attend your home inspection without having to leave your work or your home. AfterrHome is the solution because it's the platform that changes the future of home inspections, bringing the home buyer, realtor, inspector together for remote live stream inspections. We offer payment installment options. Our post-inspection follow-up is within 24 hours. We bundle service packaging so that you can get an extra start when you're contracting. And then our AI looks for neighborhood data to make sure that you get all of the environmental inspections that you need. What's great about AfterrHome is that we collaborate with the realtor and home inspector with our real-time home inspections so that you get to figure out what's going on with your home in real time. Your inspector is relaying what you need to get done at the time of the inspection. And our solution, our remote live stream inspections give you faster reports, which means quicker repairs, and it notifies the buyer of areas of concern so that you guys can adjust the selling cost or do a little bit of negotiation. It increases the productivity by 50% because you don't have to attend the inspections, and 5 hours is recovered by eliminating travel and in-person attendance. So this is a major market opportunity because $5 million homes get sold in the United States every year, and real estate is always a great investment. Why now? The demand is rising due to COVID-19 pandemic. Remote service have taken off, so people want remote options. Society is ready. Consumers have become acclimated to using live stream services with our Zooms. And then technology has allowed for consumers to inspect convenient options for all services. So we are asking for $250,000 that'll help us polish our remote live stream inspection features, integrate our smart report, expand personnel, and expand to high demand states. Our revenue model is that we have 3 ways we make money. Our direct home inspections, we have a AfterrHome X reward memberships for our realtors that gives them VIP treatment, and then we offer preventative care maintenance packages so that you can get your home inspected every quarter. Our team, which is Michael Floyd, who has over 10 years in home inspections of industry business, and myself, who has over 7 years in strategic operations of communities, are poised to make this thing happen. And AfterrHome will be the platform that brings home buyers, realtors, and home inspectors together for remote live stream inspections. What's best about us is that a portion of our revenue provides free lead inspections for at-risk families in Baltimore. And I just have one more question. Did you learn today? Thank you.
Yo.
Perfect timing, just under. Patrick, what do you got?
Oh yeah, well, first of all, that was absolutely fantastic. So, are you guys looking to? Well, first, let me ask: are you guys working outside of the Baltimore market? And if not, are you guys planning to expand to other areas within the Northeast region?
Yeah, so at first we were just going to slow walk it like through Maryland and our states surrounding us, but we kind of had to. We got a call from the American Society of Home Inspections, who actually wants to give us access to their APIs, so we have access to 3,500 of their home inspectors throughout the country. So we're pivoting our model to be able to accommodate that, which would mean we would have to do more of a contractor. So we're just trying to put that in place because it's not just a home inspection. It's a particular way that we do home inspections that's different from any other home inspector. So we're working that out so that we can do that pretty soon.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. That's everybody. We did it. Round of applause for everybody. Round all around.
Right on time.
Okay. Right on time. We don't have enough time to talk here. We're going to debrief like rapid fire. Anybody? I have a lot of notes that are general for you all. Okay, that I'm going to share with everybody. Every one of you, I encourage you, set up some time with me, set up some time with Josh. We'll give you one-on-one feedback on every slide if you want. Mauricio, thank you for the survey. Great place to put your questions, put your issues. We have a few special guests with us tonight, so we're going to run a teeny bit over because I want to be sure to introduce them and have them have a few words. But before we go to them, anybody just like burning question, burning feedback? How'd it go? Anybody want to share?
Well, Wendy, I'll just quickly say, y'all did a great job, everybody. You know, the last two presentations and some of the others, forgive me that I can't call them out, but the last two I think really did well. Some of the presentations have too many words in them, and certainly AfterrHome and AlgenAir did really great with their presentations, and I thought their slide decks. And I think if everybody looks at their presentations, they could get some really good ideas.
Thank you, David. Baltipreneurs, you want to reflect at all? Tell us how you felt. Okay. I want to introduce two of my favorite people in addition to you guys who are all on the call. So we have with us today Adil Afshar, and we have Laquita Quincy. They are both winners from last year's program. This is the original Baltipreneurs crew. And they joined, they saw some of the presentations you guys had at the end. And I just wanted them to come on and give you a few words. We would love to hear from you guys if you want to unmute about advice about how to use this time. Their demo day is April 14th. So they have like 2.5 months to get ready for that. What advice can you give them about getting ready and being ready and doing a great job like you did for demo day?
Hey everyone, great pitches. I was super impressed by everybody here. Yeah, I think my piece of advice would be just to get with your team or your cohort, get in groups of 3 or 4 and just practice probably like 20 times at least, just so that it's like down to a T that you're able to go and pitch, and that really helps polish it up. I think that's really the biggest piece of advice. But otherwise, it's really great seeing y'all here. Super impressed. Great job. Y'all are killing it.
Yeah, I'll second everything that Adil said. That basically just start now. Start practicing now. The time's gonna fly by. It's COVID. Every day is Blur's day. Like, just do it and just try to work with each other so that you're getting feedback from others, because you're so passionate about your business. You want to tell everybody everything, but people aren't as bright as we really think they are. So we need to feed them small chunks of information that when they walk away, they can repeat nearly everything you said so that they can continue to market for you. So you want to keep those kind of tidbits in mind. Like, what can I say that is going to resonate with everybody? I work with homelessness, and quite frankly, you solve homelessness by giving away houses. Like, what else is there to talk about? People remember things like that. So if you can get like a little nugget to drop at the end, or something cute like Steve did, like, just be memorable. And that algae thing, like, I have a brown thumb in real life, but I need that. So I'm gonna talk to y'all.
Thanks, you guys, for weighing in. And I, wish we had more time to learn more from you about what you've done since, and maybe we'll find a way to tap into, if you want to meet these guys, they have amazing attitudes, they have amazing successful businesses, and thank you so much for joining us. This is the time when we say goodbye, so long but not goodbye. We're going to see you soon. I love you guys so much. I hope you know that. I picked you, okay? Because I was so inspired and excited by each and every one of you and the work that you're doing. Loyola is here for you. We will bring everything we can to help you make it happen and make what you want become reality. All right, that's a small goal, but that's what we want to see happen. All right, so we are your partners in that, and we thank you for being on this road with us and joining in with us on this journey, letting us travel with you. You'll hear from us more. There'll be lots of opportunities to get ready for April 14th. We'll let you know the details for that. I'm going to not let you go before passing it one last time to Dean Joshua Smith. What do you got to call us out at the end, Josh?
No, I just, congratulations everybody, and please reach out to me so I can tell you all the things you did wrong tonight. I'm a firm believer in radical candor, and you all have a lot of work to do. It was awesome. It was great. It's not the best you can do, and so that's what we did this for. We practice, and so too many, like David said, too many words, too many segues. Everyone was long. Certainly not a lot of nuggets, takeaways that was just mentioned. You need to be memorable. And remember, it's really not about the savviness of what you have to say. It's the message which you have to bring. And so I'll just open myself up. If you want to take that radical candor, I am open for it. And then you can just tell me why I'm wrong. But my wife says I'm always wrong, but I would agree I'm rarely wrong.
Okay, so we got a good bad cop thing going here. Hopefully that balances out. You guys did a lot right too, but yeah, we want to help you fix up what was wrong. Let me leave you with two things. Number one, the ask. Okay, Ekiben killed it. AfterrHome, excellent. Tell me what you need. You all need to do that. Okay. Number two, I don't think anybody told me what they learned in Baltipreneurs. That is what I am listening for, my friends. What did you get out of this program? Well, how did you prove to me that you're worth my investment, that you took advantage of the resources I offered you? Tell me what happened over this 10-week session, okay? Or tell me what is gonna happen by April. All right, that's what people are listening for. So there's lots more, but both of those things I think are helpful for everybody. Take care, hang on if you've got some particular questions. Oh, you gotta rank everybody on the Google Doc by Friday, okay? So.
Wendy, is that one vote per team?
You get to yes, per team, top 5, 1 through 5. I have no problem if you are your own number 1, okay? But make sure but you're being honest with yourself. Blue Bone, okay, Blue Bone gets points. I did notice that actually Blue Bone did that, thank you. All right, love you guys.